In the heart of Flutterleaf Forest, where flowers whispered secrets and raindrops sang lullabies, lived a fairy named Tilly Twinkletoes. She was small, bright, and full of giggles. But she had one big problem. She simply could not fly properly. Every morning, the fairies gathered at Flutterleaf Flying School. The air shimmered with sparkly dust as little wings flapped in perfect rhythm. Their tall and graceful teacher, Miss Glimmerwing, clapped her hands. "All right, my darlings," she said. "Let's practice our figure eights today." The other fairies, Petal, Dandy, and Glow, zipped through the air in beautiful loops, like ribbons twirling in the sky. But Tilly? Oh, Tilly wobbled, wiggled, and, crash, flew straight into a sunflower. "Ooh!" she groaned, sliding down a petal covered in pollen. The other fairies couldn't help but giggle. "Tilly, maybe your wings are on backward," teased Dandy. Tilly's cheeks turned bright pink. "They're not. I just like to fly differently." Miss Glimmerwing sighed kindly. "Keep practicing, dear. You'll get it one day." But no matter how hard she tried, Tilly kept crashing into trees, landing upside down on toadstools, and even once, splat, straight into a mud puddle. By the end of the week, her score was the lowest in the class. The chart read, Petal, perfect loops; Dandy, excellent speed; Glow, graceful landing; and Tilly Twinkletoes, needs more practice, a lot more. That night, Tilly sat on a leaf by the glowbug's light, feeling very small and very sad. "Maybe I'll never be a good flyer," she whispered to herself. "Maybe I should just walk everywhere." Just then, a friendly beetle named Bobo crawled beside her. "Cheer up, Tilly. You fly like a bumblebee, bumpy but brave." Tilly giggled a little. "You really think so?" "Of course," said Bobo proudly. "The forest needs all kinds of flyers." The next morning, Tilly decided to practice all by herself. She zoomed and zigzagged, tumbled and twirled. She didn't care how silly she looked. She just wanted to feel the wind dance on her face. And a funny thing happened. When she stopped worrying about being perfect, flying suddenly became fun. She looped between branches, spun through blossoms, and even did a backwards flip. Well, almost. She laughed so hard she forgot to land properly, and, bonk, hit a soft mushroom. "Ow, but worth it," she said, rubbing her head. Soon, Tilly's silly flight tricks became famous. Whenever someone saw a swirl of sparkles bumping into leaves, they'd say, "There goes Tilly the Tumbler." It made her blush. But secretly, she kind of liked it. Then one afternoon, as the sun turned the forest gold, dark clouds rolled in. The wind howled. "Everyone, back to the hollow," shouted Miss Glimmerwing. "There's a storm coming." The fairies flapped hard, but the wind was too strong. Petal was blown into a thorn bush. Glow got tangled in a spider's web, and Dandy spun in circles, yelling, "I can't see straight." Tilly was scared too, but then she remembered her tumbling tricks. Maybe I can do this," she whispered. She spread her wings and dove right into the storm. The wind tossed her up and down, but she used her wobbly spins to keep her balance. Her zigzags helped her dodge branches, and her twisty flips kept her from falling. She swooped down and grabbed Petal's hand, untangled Glow, and pushed Dandy away from the riverbank. "Hold on tight," she shouted. With one final loop-de-loop, she guided all her friends to the safety of the hollow. When the storm finally passed, the fairies peeked out, a bit muddy, but safe and sound. Miss Glimmerwing fluttered over, her eyes shining with pride. "Tilly Twinkletoes," she said softly, "you saved everyone." The fairies cheered. "Hooray for Tilly the Tumbler!" Tilly blinked in surprise. "Me? But I thought I was the worst flyer." Miss Glimmerwing smiled. "Oh no, dear. You were just learning to fly your own way." The very next day at flying school, something magical happened. Miss Glimmerwing wrote on the big leaf board, "New lesson, Tilly Twinkletoes, twisty flying techniques." Tilly gasped, My techniques." "Indeed," said Miss Glimmerwing. "Sometimes the forest winds are wild, and your silly spins can save the day." All the little fairies tried copying her tumbles and loops. They bumped into things, giggled, and got glitter all over their wings. "See?" Tilly said with a grin. "It's not easy." Everyone laughed, even Miss Glimmerwing. From that day on, Tilly was known as Tilly the Brave, Tilly the Twirler, and the hero of Flutterleaf Forest. And whenever she flew, she smiled proudly, because she knew that sometimes the thing that makes you different is actually your biggest strength. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed Tilly's story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more magical adventures. See you next time.